Welcome, Pisces. I am Wondernanda, and this is Let It Be Tarot. Let's draw an overall energy for the eclipse season between the new moon and solar eclipse in Scorpio and the full moon in its opposite axis of the sign of Taurus. So here we have the Five of Pentacles. Fives talk about power and conflict. Usually the type of conflict that is the beginning of change. It's that starting point that creates change. 5 is in the middle of the initial numbers of the tarot, 1 and 10, obviously. And we are talking about the 5 of coins here, relating to materialism, relating to all things physical and material for us. Not only physical goods, but that which we call comfort, health, all forms of wealth. Peace of mind is a type of wealth. And then we have the Queen of Materials as well. And we have the 7 of Coins as well. So the Queen talks about the heart, feelings, passion, emotion, caring, nurturing that which is of material and physical importance or necessity. The 7 came out as well, and it talks about desire. It talks about a reevaluation. So here we're looking at a reevaluation of that which we value. Among our valuables, including health, wealth, prosperity. So perhaps there's a readjustment here. A realigning, a reevaluation of our loves, that which we love or invest our emotions in. What are we investing our emotions in? Perhaps there is a need for change called by the 5, the midpoint. The midpoint calls for a reevaluation because there is some conflict there. Perhaps an inner conflict about what we're investing our heart into, and how that is showing up and creating your physical reality. So most definitely there is not a feeling of fulfillment here, since the Nine of Cups is reversed, and the Nine of Cups usually represents fulfillment, self-fulfillment. Not necessarily fulfillment that comes from the outside, the material world and the abundance and the stability of the material world, but the Nine of Cups talks very much about I am content, a feeling of contentment within, because we have reached a culmination or close to a culmination of everything that I can do and be, so that I can attain the 10, which would be the culmination of fulfillment and contentment, of an emotional fulfillment and contentment. My cards are always pre-shuffled, and today, for some reason, I feel for this reading for the very first time, for the readings of this month, I feel that the cards are having some difficulty coming out. We'll give them a chance. This is the Tarot of the Divine. I like it very much because it draws on folkloric images, stories, deities, characters from fairy tales. And we have the Seven of Wands. The Wands talking about creativity, passion, wanting, vitality. The voice of the heart. And the Seven again, once again, talks about reevaluation, desire. What are we aiming towards? What do we desire? What is your heart telling you? Your heart telling you it desires. There's a standing up here with the 5 and the 7. There's a standing up for, there's a getting up and standing up for, okay, what it is that my heart desires. Get up, stand up for your right. Death reversed. Death reversed. Let's take a look at what my book has to say about the character of this particular death card. I am called to do so. Because at this moment, I do not recognize the character. Okay, so the character is White Bear King, Vailmon. White Bear King Vailmon from Norway. It is a Norwegian fairy tale. Death is a huge upheaval, potentially representing the death of one way of life and the start of a new one. Life changes irrevocably, and there is no way to go back. Change is necessary. The death of childhood is important in order to grow up. Now, when we look at death reversed, and that's an interesting phrase that called my attention a lot. The death of childhood is important in order to grow up. So when we're looking at death reverse, we are looking at stagnation. Perhaps something that needs to die. And you know, is just held on to, but it's not giving fruits. It's not bearing fruits anymore. And so there's an immobility, a stubbornness, a festering, a decay. Exactly. I do have that image of a fruit decaying. And then there's that decaying fruit in a bowl together with other fruits. And we are still delaying taking that fruit out of the bowl. We see that it's decaying. We have noticed. We have taken note. And yet we still take our time and just picking it out of the bowl so that decaying fruit does not begin to rotten the fruits around it. And so, yes, obviously there is something you are wishing for. There's a desire and a recognition that there's a need for change. Again, where emotions are offered, where emotions are invested, perhaps it can talk about, I see the star facing this way and the night facing that way. They are facing each other. So perhaps there is an evaluation, a reevaluation of the type of emotion that you wish to receive and perhaps are not receiving in the way that you wish for it. I do know that I need to get a new arm for my camera. And the messages really are having a hard time coming out today. The cards. And again, we have the Ace of Emotions. We have emotions again. We have the Queen, which talks about emotion. And we have the Knight of Emotions, and we have a new beginning of emotion, of feelings, of sentiment, of a type of nurturing. I do feel here that there's a new type of nurturing coming from the realization that it is yourself you are wanting and needing to nurture at this point. The lady in the Ace of Emotions, she is facing away from the Knight. Perhaps she is not waiting for this Knight any longer. Or perhaps she wishes or realizes that this waiting for the Knight can be causing decay around her. Immobility, stagnation, a type of death of herself, and which brings upon the changes, the realization and the needing and the wanting to get up, stand up, and change this death of self, which is dying with that fruit there that just doesn't move, that's been there for too long, that's not untouched, that's not touched, that hasn't been eaten, and so it's decaying. And so in order for the self not to die with this longing and hoping and wishing, there is a renewal where the emotion can be given to self, towards self, for there is a realization, and if there isn't, know now that your cup, your abundance needs to be filled first, as we have heard many times before, but that you already have that richness. And it is with this feeling and this acknowledging of your richness, of your own richness, of your own love for self, even the love that is extended that you feel towards others and things, you can still feel it. It is still true, it is still valid, even if that love is not necessarily received out there as you would like it to. It is a love that you can feel. It is the love that you hold. And so if you allow yourself to be in that feeling, in the abundance of the emotion, and knowing that this emotion is abundant in you, that attracts that position. It's a position of power. It's a position of strength. Look how beautiful this card is. It's a position of strength. And so there is a renewal of strength here. There is newfound strength and love. Thank you very much, Pisces. Let all be. Let love be. Let you be. I'll see you again when I see you again.